What's going on, champs and champettes? It's FireMonkey here over on the finals, and this is a game that's been under a little bit of controversy recently, right? You know, this is a game that I personally am super excited for. It's been a game that I've been playing since all of the betas that have basically existed before, but it's something that has been in an interesting little vague area recently in terms of how people are actually experiencing the game itself, but also what the developers are doing to the game that could potentially hinder it later down the line. Now, for people who don't know what the finals is, think about it like Battlefield devs going ahead and using the Unreal Engine in order to make their own little mini game type of, TDM type of objective based mode or whatever else, where you still have a lot of destruction you're able to do, but it's all a little bit more goofy, right? It has a lot more freedom of being able to have its own little identity, being very fun, while also at the exact same time still having that wonderful destruction from Battlefield. Now, what is the whole entire controversy? What is the issues going on with the game? Firstly, the main issue with the game is the voice acting. What if I told you that they actually haven't hired a single voice actor for this game, and instead all of the voices in the game are done entirely by AI? Obviously, AI is a, interesting topic in itself because there's a lot of people who like AI, there's a lot of people who don't like it, there's a lot of people who are wondering if it's going to be stealing jobs or whatever, and it appears that in this case, it could potentially have stolen jobs that could have been used for actual voice announcers or whatever. As you guys can hear right now by the background gameplay, this voice, that is entirely AI. That's not a real person talking. What you are hearing is artificial intelligence speaking to you. We start the game and everything else, and I mean, the graphics look amazing, right? Everything looks super cool and everything else about it. This voice right here as well, that's AI, right? And it sounds so natural for AI, because typically with AI, you're used to a little bit of crackling there and here, and of course you can see some of that whole entire destruction stuff going on, but here it is pretty solidly done, right? And of course, it's had some people over on Twitter being like, should they even do this? Should AI be used in video games at all for voices or whatever else? And we've seen AI pop up in a few games here and there in the past, right? I mean, High on Life was a game that had AI art in it and everything else, and then now we have this game right here, which is AI voices. But one thing I've kind of thought about here is, on one hand, it could have been a situation where it's like, okay, it's an early version of the game, they just needed some placeholder voices for the future, right? So they went ahead and, decided to use AI, pop in a voice or whatever else, and then that's it. However, it appears that's not the case, because they have publicly stated that this is their own technology they've been experimenting with and everything else in order to demonstrate a higher level of AI voice generation, and it's something where I'm kind of on the fence on if I like it or not. Because on one hand, as a person who plays the game and may be out of the loop from what's going on social media, I would never in a million years have been able to tell that this was an AI voice and wasn't an actual voice actor at all, right? And that is kind of like a scary thing for some people. It's right, if you're able to play the game naturally and stuff, and without even hearing, oh, this is an AI voice, you don't even think about that as being a possibility, you just think it's an actual voice actor or something, it can definitely be an interesting situation. I mean, for example, I played this game since the betas. I played it for the multiple betas that have existed before, both of closed betas. I think there were even some other tests and stuff I was a part of, like an alpha or something along those lines, I kind of forget, but I've been playing the game for a while, and I never knew that the voices I was hearing in the game was AI, right? That is something kind of interesting to say, right? Because the only reason I ever even found out that AI was a thing kind of going on with the game's voices was because of people on social media, was because of people on Twitter and news websites and everything else talking about that happening and talking about that being a thing. And even after knowing it's AI, I still sometimes can't even tell that it is, right? It's like I just listen to the voices and I'm trying to hear where's the AI effects or whatever, where's the telltale signs of AI, and I just can't hear it, right? I can't tell that it's AI at all. And that is a little bit scary in some ways, but at the same time, from a technological standpoint of just, hey, I love tech, that is a really cool way to see how AI has continued to advance and everything else. However, at the same time, it is one of the main controversies going on, so I would love to hear in the comments, what do you guys think about the whole entire situation? Do you think AI should be used for stuff like this, or do you think they should go ahead and hire actual voice actors and everything else and not take advantage of AI technology in order to go ahead and be like, hey, look at our game, right? We have the announcers and everything else being voiced by AIs entirely. I remember seeing one post online, it's like, AI can't make the sound I make when I get out of my chair, yet it can go ahead and try taking my job. I don't think so. That type of stuff, I'm kind of paraphrasing, I don't remember exactly what it said, and it definitely is something where I could see, both sides sides of the argument. You know, one side for, hey, this could potentially take jobs from other people, and the other side being like, hey, you know, this is still some really cool technology to see advancing like it is, and who knows how much more rapidly all this tech is going to continue to advance, and how much crazier and how, you know, just powerful the technology is going to get as time continues to go on. Now, the other issue is something that isn't really too crazy. It's just the game having a lot of hackers, right? You know, for a beta that's on all platforms, it is having way more hackers than it had when it was just a PC-only beta, which is kind of shocking, right? When they decided to do crossplay and everything else, that's when they suddenly started getting more hackers in the game. The only reason I could think for that is just because, you know, it has more eyes on it now. There's more people actively playing it, so more people wanting to take advantage of bigger matches, you know, being able just to make new accounts here and there whenever they want because it's a free-to-play game, and go ahead and make some cheats, right? Now, of course, they're going to actually work on the whole entire preventing cheater stuff in the future, and it shouldn't be too big of an issue going forwards, but it is something that has started to happen now. But I feel like that's the fate for any game, right? If you ever have any game out there that has, you know, online services or whatever else, you're gonna suffer from a hacker or two here and there, and you're gonna have to continue fighting this non-stop battle against hackers. But of course, I would love to hear in the comments down below, you know, your whole entire opinions on everything going on. This video was mainly about the whole entire AI voice thing because it is something that, you know, is kind of shocking to hear even myself, because of the fact that I only just thought it was a voice actor, right? You know, I played the game for multiple betas now, and I didn't think anything of it. I was just like, oh, you know, I got some fancy smashy voice acting there. Nah, you know, that's pretty cool. That's pretty nice. I didn't think too much of it. But it's something where I sit there and I'm like, wait a minute, you mean to tell me that that's actually an AI speaking to me and not a whole entire, you know, person or whatever else? So of course, you know, a little bit of mind-blowing things, you know, kind of making my mind go, huh? What is going on here? I don't understand. But at the same time, it's going to be an interesting ride to see how everything changes and evolves as the time goes on. And let's be honest here, AI is going to continue to be prevalent in our lives for a while now. I definitely don't see it being like a fodder or fad or whatever else, whatever you want to call it. I don't know the proper word for it, like NFTs are, because AI is something that is actual technology that has an actual use, unlike NFTs, right? You know, NFTs could have some quote-unquote uses here and there, but those were more made just kind of be a way for you to have decentralized currencies or whatever else, right? There wasn't a real focus on look at the technological advancements this has, and now we have what we see here in the game, which is AI voices, which are quite the technological advancement, which actually do kind of shake up the whole entire playing field when it comes to how games are made in the future. Because, I mean, if you look at some old games and early development versions of games like Duke Nukem Forever, I think it was, you would hear the voices that were placeholders back then, and what they would do is they would have just the developer going ahead and talking to do the placeover voices or whatnot until they got an actual voice actor, whereas now, they don't need developers to actually do that, right? They don't need a developer to be like, hello, it is me. I need your help for a mission. They can go ahead and type in some voice words into an AI program, and then boom, they got themselves a whole entire voice-acted person that they could either use for the official game, or they could just have it in the development phases so that, you know, they don't have to worry about hiring a voice actor when they don't even know what lines they want the voice actor to officially record. So until next time, we'll catch you champs and champions a little bit later. This is just a ramble about the magical world of AI and the craziness that has been happening very recently with the finals. I hope the game succeeds, right? I think this game could have a lot of potential, and I think it could be really, really cool. But of course, that just waits to be seen as the game goes free to play. It is something that I've kind of been anticipating for a long, long time now. I've been following it forever, right? And it's by Nexon. They're kind of like the publishers or whatever. I've grown up playing Nexon games, like MapleStory, all that type of stuff. So of course, I'm going to be sucker for this one right here. So until next time, I'll catch you champs and champettes a little bit later. Peace out.